All right, welcome to the 43rd episode of the Revolutionary Code, where we bring the truth about how governmental politics actually works in every facet of human existence and how that affects our people, Black people here in America. I am your host, Brother Tamani M. Wandani, out of Houston, Texas. I am the direct revolutionary product of one Cardinal Bayou Chewy, out of the Shrines of the Black Madonna, and the indirect revolutionary product of one Albert B. Clay, African name Jaramogi Bebe Ajiman, the father of liberation theology and the founder of the Shrines of the Black Madonna. I'm also the founder of the Black Gold Nation Movement. My co-host, the National Director of Political Strategy and Implementation for the Black Gold Nation Movement and the Chairman of LACE, Liberation Advocates for Community Empowerment, the intellectual gangster, corporate grassroots revolutionary, and master domino assassin from Shreveport, Louisiana, aka The Boot, Brother Craig B. Lee. Brother Craig, how you doing this evening?
I am doing well, about to get a drink to recoup from this NAACP came from.
Okay, well, don't drink too much before we get through with the show. Wow, okay. All right, so before we get started, please give me a minute to tell you about the Black Gold Nation Movement. Our ultimate goal, the reason why we're here, is to put our people, melanated Black people, in the position by which we can own and control the space where we live, because we have come to the amazing conclusion that when other people control it, we always lose. Crazy how that works. When we allow other people to control our entire environment or any particular aspect, any systems within that environment that we allow other people to control, we always find ourselves at the bottom of that system, be it the education system, the economic system, the spiritual system, agricultural system, political systems, security systems. Whenever we allow other people to control it, we lose, period. So, since Brother Craig and I no longer want to be on the losing end of everything, we are trying to identify, organize, connect, and build. We're not just here to inform or educate you. We're not just here to make you smile and make you happy. We're trying to get you to do something. We want to inform, educate, motivate, mobilize, organize, and build. Every single thing we say and every single thing we do is about bringing our people together in the hopes that we will find the right people who want to do something and build power for our people, period. Tonight's show, the title is Black Lives Will Never Matter if we don't participate in the processes that affect and control Black lives. Black lives will never matter if we don't participate in the processes that affect and control Black lives. So tonight's show derived from an interview I was watching between Marc Lamont Hill and Judge Doe Brown. The interview was about Bill Cosby's recent release from prison, but the topic veered briefly to the role Black people play in the abuse, murder, and oftentimes wrongful incarceration of our own people. So with that, we're going to watch a brief video clip, and I do mean brief, it's only like 2 minutes, but Judge Brown, he dropped so many jewels in it, I just we had to make a show tonight. So give me a second to share my screen. I got the video up, and we will jump right into it. Give me a second, here we go. Here. Share audio. In every facet of human existence and how that affects our people, Black people here in America. I am your host, Brother Tamani M. Wandani, out of Houston, Texas. I am the direct revolutionary product of one Cardinal Bayou Chewy, out of the Shrines of the Black Madonna, and the end. That should not be played.
I just say, what in the hell was that?
That was not my intention. I apologize. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. All right.
So let me ask you a question. When George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin and the jury found him not guilty, do you feel that the Black community should not continue to express outrage and call George Zimmerman a killer because under the law he was innocent?
They should express outrage with themselves for lacking such political influence in the selection of the district attorney or in the even weight assigned to them. See, the rules are the same. But from my perspective, I think of all the Black folk that have called me over the last 35 of jury service, all of the Black folk that voted a handout where you've got a racist idiot on that handout for judge, and they don't even pay attention to who's on the ballot. I think of all of the black folk who don't go out and vote for sheriff or effectively for mayor or for the district attorney and complain about it. See, when you have an opportunity to do something about it, do it. And see, most of the people that are off in the penitentiaries are not in there for playing Robin Hood. They robbed from their neighbors, burglarized their neighbors, killed their neighbors, raped their neighbors, sold poison to their neighbors. And the other thing is, it's not guns. It's not any excuse. It's we have got a lack of manhood and masculinity in our neighborhoods. See, masculinity is the imposition of a set of behavioral standards on a boy. So when the boy grows into a man, he has some things he has to do that he cannot get away with, that he is compelled to look to, making where he lives a better, safer, more secure place, filled with economic prosperity, sense of purpose, morality, and ethics. He is a man of public peace, dignity, and order, who is a man of peace, who can be a brave and courageous man when necessary. See, we have to start
Judge,
taking
can I pause you for a minute?
back.
We're gonna take a Judge, I want to hear more about that. Judge. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick break and bring it right back. I'm gonna push on.
All right, so that was the clip. Again, it was only 2 minutes, but it was a very powerful 2 minutes, and we're going to jump right into some of the jewels that Judge Joe Brown was dropping. Okay, so again, the title: Black Lives Will Never Matter if we don't participate in the processes that affect and control Black lives. So the processes that affect and control Black lives are political, of course, and we're not actively involved in politics. We cede control of our lives to other people when we are not involved politically. As I say before every show, Brother Craig and I, we're not here to inform and entertain or inform and educate. We're trying to get you to do something. And the sad truth is that most of our people don't want to do much of anything except complain and try and get other people to take care of our business. So since we've been doing this show, this is our 43rd episode. We've identified 6 factions of African descendants that we talk about every now and then. And Judge Brown actually talked about 2 of them. He talked about the melanated grassroots Negro and the melanated savage Negro. Question number 1, Brother Craig, why are there 6 factions of African descendants? Why 6? How did you get to 6?
I mean, because all of us are not the same.
All right.
We all come under the category of African descendants in America. But after that, because our genetic makeup, our epigenetic makeup is different, and our responses to our oppression is different. We have different people underneath that same umbrella. So when you hear constantly folks say, if we could just come together, we just need to come together, unity. There's a reason why you can't unify all African descendants, not only in America, but worldwide.
Yep.
So to not have the 2 factions of Black African descendants in America become so overwhelmed, frustrated, and believing that there is no solution, I had to create an opportunity for grassroots hybrid Black folks and grassroots Black folks to know that they can mobilize and organize with like minds, and all is not lost. Mm-hmm. Although we are behind the white wall, we are, severely behind in the game. We can still advance the baton for the future generations if we mobilize and organize and stop trying to unify with every other entity just because they look like us. Right. And we handle our business. And now from the other 4 factions, we don't have to directly go to war with them per se. But what we do is, focus on obtaining 4 things from them: a percentage of their disposable income, their vote, a percentage of their intellectual property, whether it be their ideas and or labor, and their positive public relations, promoting our programs and projects. Other than that, I mean, we leave them where they're at. And if they want to roll with the standards that we're setting in place based on the 6 pillars of empowerment, spirituality, organic right culture, education, economics, socioeconomics, and politics, cool, we'll roll with you. Other than that, stay where you're at, participate with those 4 things, and we'll allow you to keep breathing.
Amen. Okay, so how did you come to and derive at each one? Because each, and it is very important that people know that the Black Gold Nation is different in a lot of ways, and one of the ways that we're different is because of our leadership. The people that we have in the positions that they are in, they are there for a reason, and I venture to say that all of our people are experts in their fields. So I want people to know the level of thought, the level of study and understanding that you had to put into each one of these 6 factions. So how did you come to the point where you said, okay, well, that is a melanated grassroots Black person. That's a melanated grassroots hybrid. That's a pseudo bourgeoisie Black. That is a savage. How did you come to the point by which you were able to methodically, intelligently, and quite accurately label each group? And I'll be damned if you left anyone in. I think you got everybody covered. So how did you come to that conclusion of these 6 particularly?
So I left corporate America as a pharmaceutical sales rep in June of 1995. So that was 26 years ago to start doing this work in Shreveport. But I've been on the enlightened path since the fall semester of my freshman year at Xavier University. So this is 36 years this coming November for me. So part of me learning how to put these factions together through study, analysis, dealt with all of my experiences from Shreveport to Xavier. Xavier then took it to another level. And then once I graduated in 1989 and started my corporate career, from 1989 up until I relocated back to Shreveport, which was, what was that, 5 years, from 89 to 1994. So you're talking about a 5-year period. So within that time frame, I had an opportunity to live in Birmingham, in Atlanta, in Nashville, in Boston, and my network is international based on my connections from Xavier and other places. So as I experienced more in the corporate and in the grassroots setting, studied more books, and then experienced more, I'm like, I was seeing the same thing.
Yep. From
city to city, country to country. It didn't matter. It was the same thing. So, and I'm seeing the same categories of folks. I see the bourgeoisie Negro. At that time, in '89, I didn't see the category of pseudo bourgeoisie Negro. That has come a little bit later. But those other categories already existed. And so part of this was my genetic makeup, epigenetic makeup, my bloodline, because I've just been predestined to get this based on my pedigree. And then the other part is my experiences coming up in Shreveport in the hood, going to phenomenal institution like Xavier, being exposed to theology, philosophy, ethics, being exposed to New Orleans and seeing a clear class and caste system in New Orleans, I mean, in full effect, and then doing comparative analysis in the other cities. And so finally, when I was relocated back to Shreveport in 1995 and in 94 and left corporate in 95 and started doing this work, I just had an advantage of being able to look in this. And from that point, up until probably about 5 years ago is when all of the six factions totally came together. So you say from, what is this? So that would be 2016. So from 95 to 2016, so what was that 16 years? 95 to now, no, 21 years. So for over the past 21 years, from that frame, 95 to 2016, that 21-year period, I have been in the lab now dealing with economics, socioeconomics, politics, and I've run across these entities locally, regionally, nationally, and I've seen them internationally. And so that's how I was able to maneuver, being affiliated with the NAACP at the local, state, and national level, the Urban League, local, state, national level, and then going to the national conventions, seeing all this stuff, analyzing videos, analyzing these folks, and it's like, this is it. I mean, this is where it's at, and this is why grassroots people will never figure this out, because they're trying to unite based on phenotype.
That's right. That's right.
And that's how the white folks deceive and manipulate based on these people who look like you, but they don't think and maneuver like you.
That's right.
And so the only salvation for all African descendants worldwide are grassroots hybrid Black folks, because they have a connection to the hood, they have a connection to grassroots people, they love their people, but they don't tolerate their bullshit, and they have skill in whatever discipline that they're in. They just have to be mobilized and organized to put a game plan together to help specifically take over local territories so that our people can start getting some victory.
Amen. So for the record, so everybody knows that the six factions, I guess I should put this in the chat, melanated grassroots Black, melanated grassroots hybrid Black, melanated bourgeoisie Negro, melanated pseudo Black, pseudo bourgeoisie Negro, melanated grassroots Negro, and melanated savage Negro. So those are the six factions of African descendants. Per what Judge Joe Brown said, what is the melanated grassroots Negro, and what is the melanated savage Negro?
So melanated grassroots Negro, let's take Sha'Carri Richardson, because this is a hot story. She's a melanated grassroots Negro. How do we know that? First and foremost, she wearing goddamn purple, red, orange, yellow, blue hair, weave, and every goddamn thing else. That's the first thing. So she fits the ghetto Eurocentric prototype. All right, so now you have millions of Negroes willing to advocate for this individual, although she broke rules. And each one of these Negroes know that they have rules on their job. But as I've taught through this program, through all of the other things that I do, as I have taught about identity politics and how that works, when entities identify with you, they are willing to give you a pass that in most instances, they know they themselves would never receive. So when we look at the melanated grassroots Negro, they are very similar to the melanated grassroots Black person. However, the melanated grassroots Black person, they're at the bottom of society, but they have a desire to genuinely mobilize and organize to help liberate, empower, and advance our folks.
That's right.
Negroes are anti any of that. Okay, they go to work. You know, they try to do things. They're not out trying to rob, steal, and kill. That's where the savages come in for that. But they are not about the business of mobilizing, organizing. They go to the Negro churches. They are part of Negro social groups. You know, they give the appearance, but when it comes to wanting to put in some work, they're not going to do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's that faction, and they are not liked by the melanated bourgeoisie Negro or the melanated pseudo bourgeoisie Negro at all. Any type of connection there is nothing but a pimp game, because they don't fit the pedigree. They don't. You take Sha'Carri Richardson again. She went to LSU. She didn't graduate. She's from the hood. She looks, you know, like she came right out of the projects. So her appearance alone would not fit bourgeoisie Negroes and pseudo bourgeoisie Negroes. Right.
Yeah.
And so she is more connected to the savage Negroes. However, the bougies and the white liberals are now using her as a test case in order to corrupt other melanated grassroots Negroes, other melanated savage Negroes, and also confusing melanated grassroots Black folks because they are now manipulating this narrative that she smoked weed because she was so damn devastated to find out that her biological mother, who did not raise her, died, and she found out from a white news reporter. So that's the narrative that they're creating in order to engulf Negroes with a specific agenda that is targeted at homosexuality and the aspect of not following basic law, basic rules. So now we're talking about discipline. So you just be an individual, you go girl, you do what you do, and now we'll rock and roll. All of that is being used against us. So when Joe Brown talks about him not being angry at the white folks in Florida after Trayvon Martin, but after the Negroes, that's what he's talking about. They will mobilize their ass off to try to get somebody who broke the damn rules back in the damn Olympics, but they won't do the same thing to mobilize and organize to take over their local politics and local economics. The Negro is just, it's crazy as hell.
Yeah.
And they will go to the mat for somebody who is actually working against their best interest, but because she's good in a goddamn sport, that now is supposed to mean something.
Identity politics.
Identity politics.
Yeah, and the melanated savage Negro.
And so the melanated savage Negro, I mean, Sha'Carri is borderline savage. So that particular entity there is just wreaking havoc on the community through TikTok videos, through selling dope, through murder, through mayhem, through homosexuality, through all of this. They are just individualistically maneuvering to devour our people, our community, and yet again, they're being passed off as so-called Black people because they're melanated.
Right.
That's why we got to stop using the term Black to describe our people's phenotype, physical features, because Black is a state of mind. It is not phenotype. It is a state of mind that connects African descendants who are about the business of liberating, empowering, and advancing African descendants in America and worldwide. And this group, the majority of them, they're gonna have to be shut down permanent because they are terrorizing cities, counties, and they make it very difficult. They make it very difficult for us to even have positive events for our children and the whole nine. And everybody, well, we ain't got enough for them. We ain't got enough. No. The bottom line is these folks want to do whatever the hell they want to do, and you can't run a society, a community under that particular concept.
That's right. That's right. Of course, the melanated Negro Savage is a group that Judge Brown is talking about, the ones that are in prison for committing crimes, and quite frankly, they deserve to be there because of what they've done and how they behave. But the other group, the melanated grassroots Negro, of course, this is the group that we're talking about, who love to complain about everything after the fact, but does nothing to change inevitable outcomes of what we know is going to happen because it keeps happening over and over again. So would you say that the majority of our people are in this group, and if so, why this particular group?
I wouldn't say that it's the majority. I think if I had to break it down statistically, the bourgeoisie Negro, as Dr. W.B. Du Bois labeled them, the talented 10. I think between that group and the pseudo bourgeoisie, that's about 10%. I think that grassroots Black folks represent about 30%. I think the hybrid grassroots Black represents about 1 to 5% because it's just so few of us.
Yeah.
And so that's right there, 35, 40% between the grassroots Black and the grassroots hybrid Black. So that's, let's just say 40%, 10% with the bougies and pseudo bougies, and then the other percentage is split between grassroots. So I think it's either, half and half, or they might represent about 40% in terms of grassroots. But of the remaining two, the grassroots melanated Negro is the majority of the last two. The savages, it used to be about 2 to 5%, about 30 years ago. That number has damn sure risen to probably 10, 15, 20% now, because the majority of hip hop, the negative hip hop, helped to recruit them into all of this foolishness, along with the other entertainment branches. But hip hop is number one at progressing that agenda. So that 2 to 5% has increased now to, probably 15, 20%. But the majority of our people, the grassroots melanated Negroes, they try to go to work, try to do, productive things. They just don't focus on mobilizing and organizing to transform the community.
Gotcha. And that's a perfect segue to the next question. So as Judge Brown said, from jury service to active involvement in the political process to elect the sheriff, the DA, the mayor, the judges, this group is simply not involved. So why do you think this group, why do you think they refuse to involve themselves? Do you think it's just ignorance, or do you think it's something else?
Well, ignorance is one part, but the number one thing is they've been indoctrinated to embrace Eurocentric individualism.
Mm-hmm.
So they operate from the premise of I, my, me versus us, I, we. I mean, it's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
They've been indoctrinated to roll with that philosophy. So they only look at themselves, you know, as long as they got a job, they're taking care of their bills. Like you take jury duty, for example.
Mm-hmm.
These Negroes will complain about mass incarceration.
That's right.
If they get notice to serve on a goddamn jury, most of them, if they're productive grassroots melanated Negroes, here's what they'll say, because I deal with this all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I'm my job. Hey, man, I gotta make that money. Hey. And so they'll go. And when they're asked questions, they specifically answer questions so they can be thrown out the goddamn jury.
Yeah.
And so now, when the white folks, when you see a lot of this is what Negroes, and this is what kills me when I hear Negroes talk about, man, this is supposed to be a jury of the peers. Well, a lot of your peers, they punk ass don't want to serve.
That's right. That's right.
And I've been waiting. The one time that they called my ass, I was going out of town. They don't never call me. I want to be on a goddamn murder case with a Klan. I mean, death penalty.
Okay. If you miss,
death penalty, goddamn.
If you missed the beginning of the show, you're listening to the Revolutionary Code, where we bring the truth about how governmental politics actually works in every facet of human existence and how that affects our people, Black people, melanated Black people here in America. Tonight's show's our 43rd episode, and it's titled "Black Lives Will Never Matter If We Don't Participate in the Processes That Affect and Control Black Lives." My name is Tamani Mwandani. I'm the founder of the Black Gold Nation Movement, and my co-host is Brother Craig B. Lee, the National Director of our Political Strategy and Implementation Department, as well as the Director of our Adult Division Department, Adult Education Division. Okay, next question. Stockholm Syndrome is described as a condition in which hostages develop a psychological bond with their captors during captivity. Emotional bonds may be formed between captors and captives during intimate time together, but these are generally considered irrational in light of the danger or risk endured by the victims. So do melanated people of African descent have Stockholm Syndrome, and could this explain our behavior?
They have Stockholm Syndrome. They have country western syndrome. They have all kinds of white syndrome. They love white folks, man. Negroes love white people.
Yeah.
It's just the bottom line. They love them, and I get it. I mean, you beat somebody down for so long physically, and you're operating mentally, and you simultaneously tell them that they ugly as hell, they dumb as hell, and you tell them this shit repeatedly for 400 goddamn years. Yeah, you know, that's why Sha'Carri Richardson wearing all that crazy ass horse hair that she be having on her goddamn head. And I mean, it's so sad. It's sad, but yeah, Stockholm Syndrome is but one of our mental conditions that's out there.
I'm glad you said mental, because Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological sickness.
Oh yeah.
So you would conclude then that our people are psychologically sick.
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, I created a term for, like, when you have operation on your brain, they call it craniectomy.
Mm-hmm.
So I created a term for your mind called a mendectomy.
Okay.
We need to have a goddamn mendectomy. But since the mind is intangible and you know, you can't touch it,
mm-hmm.
it's within, you know, this area.
Yeah.
A complete reprogramming has to go on, but only the creator and the ancestors, guiding hybrid Black folks can help in that process.
Yeah. Okay. So if we agree that our people are psychologically sick, and you alluded to this earlier, but I want you to go into it a little bit more. The remedy or the cure for that psychological sickness would be what?
The 6 pillars of empowerment. That's the only cure.
Give me them first 3.
Spirituality, organic right culture, education. Without those 3, you can't get to what most people want to talk about, the economic.
That's right. You're muted. You're muted, Craig. You're muted. You must have got a phone call. There you
Hold
go.
on. Somebody trying
Yeah, I
to
think
call.
you must have got a phone call. Okay, go ahead.
But it's the money. It's the money. Listen, bro.
Oh, you're muted again. Another phone call. They must have called back. That's the same person twice.
Right now we have. Hold on. That's what happens when you having to deal with all that. But right now we have 1.5 trillion in consumption spending. So if it's about the money, why we ain't got it? It's not about the money because the money is there. The question is, why can't we mobilize, organize the money to now work for us? And that's because you lack the first 3 pillars of empowerment.
Right.
No spirituality, no organic right culture, and no education. You need those 3 things in order to know how to produce, manufacture, transport, store, distribute goods and services for your people, so that you can get the majority of those disposable dollars. Then you need to go into the socioeconomics element of public assets to improve society, public schooling, public transportation, public health and wellness, infrastructure, all these things. And then lastly, governmental politics. So without those 6 pillars of empowerment, we're doomed. It's proven that.
So most people would say, because we don't fully understand stuff, we will say that Black people are spiritual because so many of us go to church. We do have those of us that come from good homes. We come out of a good culture because of our home life. We go to school, we get degrees. Black women are the most educated in the country, if not on the planet. So Black people would say, well, we have those 3 things, Brother Craig. So what are you talking about? So what do we miss with your understanding and what you mean by spirituality? What do we miss when you say organic right culture? What are we missing when you say education, as opposed to the common answers that are often given?
So first off, our people don't understand the difference between spirituality and religiosity. And so going to Eurocentric church doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with spirituality. But this is part of the hustle, right? This is part of the hustle that is used. And so I get it, so the premise is, just like most people believe that you go to a hospital to get health care, but that's incorrect. One of my good colleagues, former attorney, Ed Dixon, he says that what we're talking about when you go to a hospital is not health care, it's sick care. And if you think about it, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You go to the hospital when you're sick. So, but we don't focus on prevention. So it's the same thing with a so-called religious institution, church. The people believe that they're getting access to spirituality when they're going to a religious institution, but what they're getting is a mental drug that keeps them from tapping in to their spirituality, because that's a power that the Creator already gave you. You just have to learn how to unlock, unleash, and activate that power. The issue is if you do that, then you're not going to be paying the goddamn preacher.
That's right. You won't be going to church.
Okay? So it doesn't behoove them. It doesn't benefit them to try to learn how to teach you about this power. And you need that power in order to make right decisions. You need that power in order to establish an ethical and moral compass. You need that power to give you the protection from all of these evil spirits that you have to encounter on a daily basis. And that sets up the organic right culture, because this is now what your people will do every day, practice every day to liberate, empower, and advance yourselves in this wicked ass war that we're in. And so, and that involves everything, like I say, from family structure to language to fashion to art, all of these things, that's a part of that. And now when we get to education, and you brought up so-called sisters being the most educated in the goddamn world, that's a goddamn lie. All they have, all they get are the schooling. That doesn't make you educated. So here's what I say. Education, the learning process of acquiring enlightenment, empowerment, and purpose. Do you really believe that all of these sisters have enlightenment, empowerment, and purpose? Hell no. Because what they get helps to advance who? Not themselves, but
the white man.
I mean, this is
and his culture.
Exactly.
Which is why we call it the slave culture. So yeah, I agree, I get it. And it's important that we make those distinctions, because our people don't understand spirituality, and we do confuse that religiosity with religiosity. We don't understand. And we've talked about it a lot. We keep, you always talking about people saying for the culture, hip hop culture, and that's a subculture. It's not our culture, But we don't get that. And the whole educational piece, hell, to be quote unquote educated in America's system of propaganda is, like you said, it's not education. It's you becoming a drone or a slave. And the whole church thing, hell, church is Novocaine. It puts you to sleep. And it don't help you to tap into anything as it relates to being black on this planet in a very real way.
Exactly.
But we repeatedly miss that over and over and over again.
And not only do we miss it, what now happens, and this is where I just got to take my head out to these pale-skinned architects and engineers, because they create a branch of entertainment.
Yes, sir.
For every facet of our existence, whether necessary or desired. Well, what do I mean? You have entertainment as a macro, and most people believe that entertainment is harmless and fun, but it's not.
Not at all.
It's a tool used to distract the mind away from things that you need to be focused on. So what are the entertainment branches? Well, I just got through talking about one with Sha'Carri Richardson. What is that? Sports entertainment.
That's right.
But you also have movie entertainment. You have music entertainment, television entertainment. You just mentioned another one, religious entertainment. You see, you have culinary entertainment. You have literary entertainment. So now, what is the point? The white folks figured this out. They're going to make sure that they create entertainment industries, micro industries, underneath the macro economic industry, and they're going to now position their entities who will now become stars who will now leverage the money, the status, and the materialism.
That's right.
So what are they going to articulate? The Eurocentric point of view.
Negroes.
Get it?
Yep.
So Lil Wayne articulates the Eurocentric point of view. And he is a music entertainer. So now he develops millions of fans, and now the fans tie into him. What is that concept called? Identity politics.
Right.
So now they tell him what to say. They'll let him do bullshit, you know, Negro shit.
Right.
But now when you're called to the carpet, you gotta toe the line, because that's how you keep the money, status, and materialism coming in.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
That's why for Brother Naru, that's why I celebrate Toby Nwigwe so much, because he is the first major edutainment counterbalance to this bullshit that is going on in the 21st century. He's not the first, but he's the first in the 21st century to counterbalance or to counter all of this negativity that's going on, right?
Yeah.
And so Ali was the first sports edutainer, not sports entertainer,
That's right.
but sports edutainer.
Yeah.
Because he had the flash and the show, but when you listen to him, he wasn't talking foolishness. He was talking what, Tamani? Black empowerment.
That's right. That's right. Would you put Paul Robeson?
Yeah, Paul Robeson was definitely an edutainer. However, his edutainment did not resonate with our people. That goddamn opera shit would never resonate with our people.
I wouldn't call
that
it opera
goddamn
shit.
yeah, that play right shit ain't gonna never operate with our people. Okay?
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't mind you doing it. But when you come and oh Lord, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about that.
Now, have you? If you have not heard of this group, I'm gonna send you a clip. Have you ever heard of three brothers that call Three Mo Tenors? You ever heard of them brothers?
No, I haven't heard of them.
I'm gonna send you a clip, and I'm telling you, it's like I always say, anything Black people do, we take to another level. And these brothers are opera singers, but they most certainly funk it up. And when you hear them sing, man, it is absolutely phenomenal.
And that's beautiful, but their ass ain't never gonna get no radio play.
No, yeah, we
You understand?
Yeah.
That will never. You're not going to move the masses of people without a beat.
That's right. Yeah.
Because that's culture.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a part of our cultural art.
Right.
And so, love Paul Robeson. He was an edutainer, but he suffered from the same goddamn disease that Martin Luther King, trying to enlighten white folks.
Right. So, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So that they could stop being evil. But guess what? A goddamn rattlesnake was born to be poisonous. God damn it.
Right. Yeah. And we'll bite you. so
no matter how much you talk to the rattlesnake, no matter how much you pet the goddamn rattlesnake, no matter how many goddamn rats you like allow the rattlesnake to eat, if that damn rattlesnake bites you, you're going to be infected with poison.
Yeah, period.
Because that's what the damn rattlesnake is.
So given what you're saying about edutainers and the importance and power, going back to the movie One Night in Miami, that is why Malcolm was so hard on what's the brother's name? The singer.
I'll think about it in a minute.
Anyway, it'll come to me. He was so hard. I can't remember this brother's name. A change is gonna come. Damn, who sang that song? Sam Cooke. Thank you, Senator. Okay, I don't know how we forgot that. We should be ashamed of ourselves. But that's why he was so hard on Sam Cooke, because he was saying to Sam Cooke, brother, you got the people. If you only gave them a message that could help liberate all of us, That's what we need. But of course,
But Malcolm didn't understand the game. So Sam Cooke was, you're in a dilemma, man. Because he didn't control the industry of entertainment. He didn't control it sounds good, but in order to get played on the radio, he had to toe a line.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's get back to the subject. We only got 3 questions left. What names come to mind when you think of melanated people? And I want you to just say the names who have been killed or murdered by the police. Just say the names. Whatever names come to mind.
Melanated people?
Yeah.
Eric Garner.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Mike Brown.
All right.
Freddie Gray.
All right.
Here in Shreveport, Marquise Hudspeth.
Okay.
Here in Shreveport, Anthony Childs.
Okay.
It's a whole bunch of them.
All right. So how many of these people, and if you keep going to the Mike Browns, Tamir Rice, all those Sandra Bland's, how many of those people lived in predominantly Black spaces?
I would say I would have to say the majority of them,
right?
Pretty much lived in majority Negro spaces. Trayvon Martin, of course, his dad was staying with another chick in a white area, and he wasn't necessarily murdered by a cop, but the majority of them live in.
Okay, all right. So, and that's what I want to get to. The majority were. So, is it a leap? Is it a leap to say that if melanated people were politically engaged, just as Judge Brown said, that these people very well may still be alive, that Black people were engaged in the political process in these predominantly melanated spaces, then the names that come to mind of people who have been murdered, they very well could be alive, because if we were engaged, we would have more control over the levers that affect our lives. Is that a leap to say that?
Oh, no, that's not a leap. If you take Mike Brown's case, for example, you can go and do the analysis you goddamn self.
That's right.
Ferguson, Missouri, 70-something% Negro. But when Mike Brown was murdered, all white police force, all white goddamn city council, damn white mayor. So now let's put that in perspective.
Come on.
You're 70 goddamn percent of the goddamn city, and the white folks controlling your damn tax dollars with your stupid ass. You won't vote, okay? But then you want to complain and burn the damn city up. Okay, so then after all the international attention gets on the damn city, you would think surely before Mike Brown was murdered, the turnout was like 16 goddamn percent. I'll never forget it. Because I automatically am gonna go to the numbers.
That's right.
And I said, oh hell, I know the goddamn turnout now gonna be 80 goddamn percent. They done burn up the whole damn city. Oh, we need change. Oh, the white man gotta go. 19 goddamn percent. The next election, the white mayor won again. What in the West Hell of Freddy Krueger is going on? I'm like, and so when I looked at that, and then looked at the other ones, and then finally the Freddie Gray, and I done been to Baltimore now.
Come on, that's right. Come on.
Goddamn Baltimore down there, 80% Negro.
That's right.
And I'm like, what do these niggas want?
Bring it home. That's right.
And that's when it hit me. They want white folks to love them. Because your goddamn mayor is a bourgeoisie Negro. The police chief is a bourgeois. That's why you got to know the difference between the factions.
That's right.
You say, Craig, they're Black. No, they're not Black. They're melanated.
That's right.
They don't give a damn about you as a grassroots entity. So the Negro tear up the goddamn city. And they want to complain and complain. And what was so interesting, if you go back to the Baltimore thing, they talked all this foolishness about all the Crips and the Bloods that it came together. You're a goddamn lie. All they were doing was trying to give a public relations appearance so the cops could leave the community because they need to do what, Brother Tamani?
The cops?
No, the Crips and the Bloods. They need the police out of the community so they can start doing
Go back to committing crimes and terrorizing the people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Making their money.
And one of the crimes that happened, and you can pull it up, and there was very little press on it, a 14, 15-year-old girl was followed home to her grandmother's house, raped, brutalized by 3 or 4 gang members. They killed her, and then they burned up the goddamn house.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of this is happening under our watch. And if you believe that these savage Negroes, you're just gonna talk to them about Jesus and prayer and all of this foolishness, and they're gonna stop doing what they do, you're a goddamn fool.
Yeah, well, you know, it's gonna be like that one show we did. We were talking about, I don't remember the title, but the young mayor of I think it was Shreveport. Is that the young black guy who's the mayor? Is that Shreveport?
He's 32. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking about the I think it was the young girls in Walmart. They stabbed, I think a bunch of 12, 13-year-olds stabbed a 14-year-old, something like that. And he said, you know, the police chief was like, his answers were all over the place because he didn't understand it. We gotta, it starts at home or some crap he said. And the mayor said, I guess we just gotta pray more.
Yeah.
Because not only do they have no idea what to do, but they really believe, at least I think they really believe, that prayer is gonna change it.
No, they know they know it's a lie. But that's all they can come up with.
That's crazy.
Because the bottom line is, just like this past weekend in Dallas, 23 individuals injured with gunshots, 5 murdered, 3 of them from goddamn Shreveport. Murdered in Dallas by 2 Negroes from Shreveport who followed their ass to bruh.
All right. I'm looking forward to the day. I swear to God, I'm looking forward to the day where we are in a position to say that nigga got to go.
Yeah. And look, I want everybody to think about this. I want them to think about this. I want them to put this in perspective, because I just deal with the goddamn truth. If Negroes, since Negro, melanated Negro savages are doing all of this mayhem in a system that they know will put their ass in jail or kill their ass, extinguish their ass. If they're doing all of this in this system, and Negroes are up here pushing for their own country, with fewer rules, with fewer jails,
fewer resources, fewer bullets.
What you think these savages would do to us?
They're gonna be waiting in the cut.
Man, y'all better stop dealing with fairy tales, man.
All right, man. It's 10 o'clock on the dot. We did a good job. Last question. You get, you have the opportunity, you have the power to say, from tonight's show, every person who's watching, who will watch, only gets one takeaway. So if you had the power to make sure that for the rest of their lives, they get one takeaway from this show, what would that one takeaway be?
Although Judge Joe Brown overall is an asshole, he knocked the ball out the park on that clip, because he's absolutely right. And, I've been articulating this forever. And also Judge Joe Brown is hypocritical at the same time, because he has not created a prototype for what the hell he's talking about. So if you're not working to create a prototype for what he's talking about at the local level, shut the hell up. Even though what he said is correct, shut the hell up. Because a few weeks ago, I had to cuss his ass out on his own show that I was on with him and my good partner, Dr. Carl Mack. We were talking about Juneteenth, and he was so disrespectful about Juneteenth, and he made some very, just disrespectful, untrue remarks. And we had to put his punk ass in check. So, but he is telling the truth on this. And that's what I would want them to take away, is that though he is an asshole, what he's saying is true, because you can't blame your enemy for putting a foot in your ass. You can't blame your enemy for deceiving you. You can't blame, we're in war. Even though the Negro believe we're in America and, American dream and, let's just, all this Martin Luther King foolishness from 1963. But that's the only way this is going to change is that we make it happen. You got to become that change. And if you're not going to do that, I mean, really, you might well just go and kill your damn self. Shit. I mean, because you're just taking up air, goddamn.
That's right.
Like in that Dave Chappelle skit with the Black Klansman, Clayton Bigsby. Are they just breathing up all the damn air with the big ass nostril?
All right. Okay.
Negro breathing up all the damn good ass God-given air.
Just taking up space. All right, it's 10:03. We're going to open this thing up for questions and answers. So does anybody have a question or comment for Brother Craig Lee before we close this thing out? Any questions or comments for Brother Craig?
Yes, greetings and salutations, brother. This is Brother Mike. As always, I get edutainment from this show, right? Because you know what? It's funny sometimes, but it's a rock bottom truth, and that's what I need in my life. I didn't have enough bullshit with everything else. So my question is not quite related, but just unfortunately the assassination of the current president of Haiti.
Haiti, yeah.
Yeah.
But I asked folks to take a look as to why he was assassinated. He wasn't a popular president. Actually, I didn't know who the president was because I had kept up for a minute, and I'm part of a cadre out here with the previous president back in about 2004, who had fled to Haiti and went to Africa, whatever. But my point is, he was a banana importer, exporter. And so my question is, I'm thinking, is our government or the occupying force behind this, or do you think it's downright the CIA? That's just my general question.
Well, that is a great question, and I'm so glad you brought that up. And it is directly tied to tonight's subject, although you might not think so. So how is this tied to this? Okay, so first off, let's deal with Haiti. Haiti is the first independent African descendant republic in the Western Hemisphere, right? If Toussaint Louverture and those wonderful revolutionaries back then were alive today, they would probably commit suicide as to what they see with their own people. But they participated in what is going on today because they did not understand the philosophy, the system, and the game of capitalistic white supremacy. They did such a great job of my former elder, who is now ancestor, Dr. J.C. Briere. He's from Haiti. He was an OBGYN here in Shreveport. And he used to say, Brother Craig, we tricked the Spanish and deceived the French, and we won the goddamn war. And I said, but brother, Dr. Briere, your ass was still oppressed. So you didn't win a damn war. They won a battle. And when they won that battle, them white folks said, we got to show them what time we don't fight fair. We don't fight as an individual. We clicked up.
And we don't fight on one front either. Or
We
one
don't
other.
fight on no one goddamn front.
Man.
So we gonna show you what time it is. And they showed them, and they made their punk ass pay reparations.
Yep.
And they bankrupt the country. And Haiti ain't never, ever, I want you to hear me, brother Mike. Haiti ain't never gonna rise. See, so this dude who was their president was a puppet for the United States government. And there was some illegal things that went on in that election. He was trying to spend an extra year in office. They already had civil unrest. And so whether it was the United States or another country taking this punk ass out, he up out of there. Because that's why I try to explain to these Negroes when they be talking about, oh, let's take up some arms to shoot America. We gonna take it. Sit your punk ass down. Sit your punk ass down. And take notes. They will come get a damn president. Who in the hell are you? Sit your punk ass down.
But I'm sovereign.
I'm sovereign. Yo, ignorant, stupid ass. Tariq Nasheed making a movie about Haiti as if, oh, this is the prototype. It ain't no goddamn prototype.
Well, it's a prototype, but not for what he's talking about.
Not what the hell he's talking.
Yeah, it's a prototype of something. Yeah.
I don't know, CIA, economic hitman, whoever, but you know who's going to be blamed because they're going to do the coup from inside. Yep. Who's behind it? We don't know.
Right.
But what we do know is it is a great case analysis of what happens when grassroots hybrids, the people who got skills and a love for the people, are not in place. Puppets. Now, if you believe he's black, just based on skin pigment, because he's darker than me.
That's right.
But he's whiter than me in the mind.
That's right.
Because you can't get to that level and be in position without these white folks propping you up. And I gave the same example of Saddam Hussein. He had his own goddamn country. He had a military 2-3 times the size of the United States military. They had bombs, they had weapons of mass destruction, they had ships, they had planes, they had guns and ammo. But just like in MMA, goddamn, the United States government made their ass tap out, made them surrender. So we got to stop playing these games, because what you see going on throughout the country is real deal. And unfortunately, our people don't understand this from the most rudimentary levels. And so I just bring the truth to the table. So I know Naru doesn't have a question tonight, but Naru is always advocating and asks about moving outside of America. You know, I get it. The romanticism. Let's move, let's do our own thing. Understand, you will not escape these white folks. And the only solution is the mobilization, organization of like-minded grassroots people inside of the belly of the beast, and then connecting to the outside. But if we don't have anything to offer a Caribbean country or an African country, what the hell are you leaving for?
Right.
But I mean, what you bringing? Your damn, all you gonna take with you is your bipolarism, your paranoid schizophrenia, your poverty. And you wanna, then you're gonna be right home like, oh, we got it going on in Africa. And your goddamn lights be going out at 12 o'clock and shit, cause that's when everybody be getting on the computer. And then you be like, damn, I wish I could, but I can't tell nobody because I really wish I was back in America.
In America. You know? All right, so does anybody else have a question or comment for Brother Craig before we close this thing out? Any other questions or comments going on?
I know why Naru ain't got no question, because I think I sent him that article on them hip hop Negroes down in Baton Rouge, killing
Oh, here we
killing
go.
another
Here we go.
group.
You trying to make me get on the mic, man? Come on, bruh. Come on, that ain't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he just taking the night off. He ain't got no questions.
That's
I
my
don't accept
brother.
that.
Why he missed me? He want me to come on and talk to him. He missed me.
That's my brother.
He want me to ask him something.
That's
Now,
my brother.
You know, we got a lot of people now moving down to Ghana. I'm gonna say that, and they are coming back with some very, very good news. And they are trading with them. We do have some trade routes set
That's
open
good.
for clothing, and also definitely for these old cell phones we got out here. They really need those. So it might be obsolete to us, but man, they need those cell phones. So we working on some stuff, brother. Some of the Panthers got a farmland over in Ghana, so we do have some trade and things going on. And I understand that we not going to escape the white man. You know, I'm not trying to escape him. Like, hey,
Cause guess who calling the shots in Ghana? Cause guess who calling the shots in Ghana?
Well, we already know that. Come on, man.
Them white folks.
You already
Hey,
know that.
I had a meeting today with a brother who in the UK who's from Ghana. I'm giving him a presentation tomorrow. He sent me a message saying, "Brother, I bought your book. Now what?" We had a good conversation today, man. And I'm bringing him up because he was born and raised in Ghana, and now he lives in the UK. And I swear, to hear him talk, you think he's from Mississippi, because he says the same problems y'all got there, we have here.
Well,
Born and raised in Ghana, lives in the UK. Huh?
There's a mass exodus from Africa to the UK right now, for sure, going on.
Right, and that's my point. My point is that, like Craig was saying, wherever you go, like I told him, same white boy, different accent. They're all cousins. They're doing the same thing. If they play as a team, you know, and we don't. So, you know, if we don't, you know, mobilize and organize on a local level, you know, it's a done deal. And like Brother Craig always says, you can't build a house from the roof down. So with that, thanks to the tower, share the link. Let me see, what is that link? Brother Mike, share your link. What's that link? Did you click on it? Anybody click on it? I don't want to click on it. What's that link, Brother Mike? Brother Mike, going once?
Yeah, that link is for the National Association of Black Social Workers virtual conference. We just finalized our, well, we had the PR piece, but this is kind of one of our latest that has more of a succinct tone to it. So I thought I wanted to share with everybody. So,
okay.
But here's the thing about it. Our next conference is in Chicago. And so once they get the RFPs out for workshop, I'm gonna definitely shoot it over, because we need to get some of our Black new Negroes, savages, some edutainment, not edutainment, but just some education. Like Craig said, we need to bring them out from West Hill, Freddy Krueger. I'm gonna use that one, Craig. That's a good one.
Well, you can get the melanated Negroes. You might not get the savages.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway,
you know, to help them figure out what the crackle knackle going on, because they you can't serve two gods. Ain't that what the Bible says?
Yeah.
You can't serve two gods. So that's all I wanted to share that tonight, brother.
All right, brother. And thank you. I appreciate the link sincerely.
No problem.
Thank you. And on that note, Brother Craig, closing comments?
Oh no, I want to thank everybody for participating. We are going to win. There are small victories that are happening here in the city of Shreveport. We will, Dr. Jones is on the call tonight. After 25 years of advocating for the Fair Share program, over the past 4 years, we have made some tremendous movement with the passage of the legislation for the disparity study. Then my good colleague, Leon Wheeler, is over the Fair Share program now. And Dr. Jones her firm has now gotten the contract to develop the business components inside of the Fair Share program. And so she has followed my advice and counsel to the T. And in less than a year, she's now leveraged this contract. And so there are small victories happening. And we just have to keep on plugging away. But once we take over Shreveport over the next few years, and we create some multimillionaires and a few billionaires, and we learn how every facet of government works here, then we can now start to set up our own specific townships, take over other abandoned towns, and expand our footprint.
There you go.
My job is here in Shreveport, Caddo, and a surrounding 100-mile radius, north, south, east, and west, and also collaborated with the Black Gold Nation to build up the headquarters in Houston, and then replicate this in other cities. And so we are moving expeditiously to make that happen, and we will be keeping you guys updated on all of these particulars.
Amen. I want to thank everybody for taking time to be a part of the show. I sincerely appreciate it. We do this every Thursday, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific. So if you know a Black person of like mind, like spirit, who you think would enjoy and appreciate and want to join us in what we're trying to do for our people, please share the link in the show information with them. We'd appreciate it. Always remember two things. No one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And lastly, always, always, always remember that nothing is more sacred. Not you, not me, your kids, my kids, your family, my family. Nothing is more sacred than the empowerment and freedom of Black people. Because if Black people aren't empowered and if Black people aren't free, you're not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. Our kids ain't going to make it, and our families sure aren't going to make it. But if we put the group first, put the tribe first, build a nation for ourselves, then everyone that's attached will be taken care of, because our nation is going to protect our own and wield our power like a double-edged sword. So with that, God bless. You guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much.
Peace.
Peace.